As you can see, the Miss Beacon Plumbing is controlled by these flight controls, and they're controlled with my feet. So we control them down the straightaway by keeping the boat off the water, which makes it fast, but not too off the water, which makes it crash. So then we get down to the corner, and when we turn into the corner, we want it to stay on the water, but then at the same time, as it gets partway through the turn, we want to add more lift or more up elevator in an airplane to keep the nose up and to make it go faster around the turn. And you can see that happening too. So it's a real integral part of how the Miss Beacon Plumbing runs and what makes it fast or not. So all this is real complicated, but without the help of Bill Cahill and all the employees of Beacon Plumbing, couldn't happen. Kelly and Sharon, support us. Bill Cahill supports them. Makes the whole world go round. And thank you, Seattle, for supporting Beacon Plumbing. They do a lot for us. They do a lot for the community. And looking forward to the race.
Till you use me up.
You don't see that a lot of times, but I'm always seeing him. There's pictures of him with the boat laying in the grass, and he's working on it. That's really impressive to me. I really like to see that.
And the ages for the drivers are 9 to 16, is that correct?
Correct. These young drivers start at the age of 9 years old. You'll see speeds of anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour in our junior class. And they're a 10-foot boat motor and driver all must weigh 300 pounds. Just like the H1s, they must go through tech inspection. It is non-oxygenated fuel that they are run. We have a 15 horsepower Mercury Johnson and Evinrude behind the wheel. We're bringing our junior class here, brought to you by Seattle Outboard Association, right here in local. Our next race will be September 10th and 11th at Angle Lake and SeaTac. So make sure you go onto your Facebook and look up Seattle Outboard Association to find out more about hydroplane racing. We are also blessed with another class of boat that's here in the pits. This is a C-Stock Hydro. This is a step up. So, if you want to see speeds of 70 miles an hour across the water in a hydroplane, come on in.
Okay, our junior hydros are taken to the water right now. I'm going to step away from the microphone. Corey, Kay, take it away. Talk about our junior hydros.
Well, as our J-Stocks junior class make their way out on the course, I'll give you the lineup. Finn Peterson behind the wheel of the 747, the bright yellow and red O'Cannery. Brody Wyant in the Axel Nut 122. Little Cassie, so excited to be able to drive that powder blue HomeStreet boat number 16. Madden Henshaw behind the wheel of the 91, sponsored by Goodwin Real Estate, Lewis Custom Hydros, and Carson Kelly behind the Botano Homes gray and orange number 9. Got some experienced drivers out here, Corey. We've talked about this a few times. The one name that you and I talked about is your partner in crime. J. Michael Kelly's son is out here. He's a 4th generation driver. Just came back from Depew, Illinois to race the Junior Pro Nationals. Had to battle it out with 13 other junior kids, but he did great finishing up on the podium.
Yeah, he was on the podium a lot that weekend. We're really proud of him. But also with all these other Region 10 kids, there's a lot of our kids from Region 10 that place very high back east. These kids are the real deal. They're going to be something here in the next few years. I mean, they're already something, but we're real proud from the Region 10 to have as many podiums as we did when it comes back east, because the competition in J is not easy.
No.
So J's stressful.
When we were in Dubuque, Illinois last week, as you were talking about with the Junior Nationals, there was over 400 entries amongst all the different classes raced in hydroplane racing. Out here on the water is our junior class, like I said, starting at the young age of 9 years old. So if you have a youngster next to you that someday dreams to have the future of racing an H1 Unlimited, right here is where they get their start. Go to Seattle Outboard Association on September 10th and 11th. Once again, we will be at Angle Lake, and we have a program called New Folks and Boats. We will give your youngster a boat to go out and give them the whole water all by themselves. We won't stick them out here right now like they are with all kinds of other drivers out there. So go to Seattle Outboard Association's Facebook site, contact them, and see how you can get your youngster. Also, we do put adults into some of the bigger boats. Right now, green flag is out. This is the start of our race. We're doing a flag start. Little Cassie in the HomeStreet nailed the start, but here comes Carson Kelly, and I see a Lewis Custom Homes Hydro driven by Matt Hinshaw trying to battle it out 4 wide as they go through turn 1. We will do 4 laps with our junior class. Look at those 3 right across, nose to nose. Corey Peabody, bring him across into turn 2.
You got Madden Hinshaw on the inside there, Carson Kelly on the outside. They're both going in that turn hard. They want the win. This is kind of how it was back east. Those two were battling it out. So good to see these guys keeping it up. They're bouncing all over the place. Carson's way up in the air, but Madden's not giving up. They're going to come into this turn right here, and I think Carson's going to slam the door on him here pretty soon. What do you think, Kay?
Keep an eye on that 122 of Brody Wyatt of Axel Net. He's trying to stick his nose in there, but they're still side by side as they go down the backstretch to complete 1 of the 4 laps. Your leader is going to be Carson Kelly at Hinshaw right there with the Lewis Customs. And in third, Brody Wyatt in the 122, followed by Finn Peterson, Old Cannery 747, and Little Cassie in the HomeStreet 16.
Carson swung it out way wide. It's going to be interesting to see, but you also, that third place boat's coming up. He better pay attention because he's coming. Carson's going out wide. Now he's going to tuck it in there, and let's see if he closes the door. They got close on the exit buoy last time. Let's see what happens now.
Brody Wyatt in the 122 doing everything he can to try and catch up to our 2 lead boats. Carson Kelly on the outside, on the inside, Matt and Hinshaw. They are battling it out. This is one of our smaller courses. That's why you're seeing Carson go a little bit wide, trying to keep up the RPMs on that boat. But keep an eye on the 122. Brody Wyatt, once again, trying to stick his nose in there. We have 2 laps down, 2 more to go.
We're halfway through this race, and they have not changed. It's back and forth, back and forth. We see, let's see what's going on. Sorry guys, I'm getting all excited. I'm watching these kids go in this corner. Just making sure. I don't want to see them and get wet, but they're doing a great job. And up the backstretch, you still got Carson on the outside, Matt on the inside. So gonna go into this turn. Oh, Madden's flying that boat.
Madden Hinshaw just about blew it over going into turn 2. They're going to duck underneath that windshield, come out of turn 2, come across the start to see the checkered flag. Your winner of our Heat 4A, Madden Hinshaw, driving the Goodman Real Estate Lewis Custom Homes, followed by Carson Kelly, Botana Homes, followed by the 122, driven by Brody Wyatt in the Axel Net, and the 747, Finn Peterson in the Old Cannery, followed by Little Cassie Lucas and the HomeStreet number 16.
Yeah, Madden had to work for that one. He kept it on the buoys, and that was the difference between him and Carson coming up to that checkered flag. So great driving by Madden.
Well, like you said, these 3, your top 3, have battled it out for the last 2 years in this junior class. I'm excited to see what happens when we move them up to some of the bigger classes, because Carson Kelly, he definitely has spent a lot of time watching his dad race the outboards. And you know, we got a couple new drivers out there that came through our program of New Folks and Boats. That would be Little Cassie in the HomeStreet boat. She's been doing great. And the fun part about them, Mama's starting to race now too.
Oh, more people.
More people, more boats. Seattle Outboard Association welcomes you to Seafair. This is our junior class. We just completed Heat 4A. Next out will be Heat 4B of our junior class. If you want to get involved in hydroplane racing and you are visiting here in the Pacific Northwest, hydroplane racing is nationwide. We just got back from Dubuque, Illinois, where we had over 400 entries from across the United States. We had Florida, California, Michigan, Wisconsin. You're visiting, once again, front to Washington State, I should say more better.
Mobetta?
Mobetta.
Mobetta.
That's like first place. Mobetta. Go to apba.org. Once again, that is apba.org to find your local club. That is also a great resource to find out about more hydroplane racing, whether it be RC, whether it be offshore, whether it be here with our outboard hydroplane racing, along with H1. We also do the OPCs, which is a tunnel boat. Any shape, size, or speed, you can find it at apba.org. That stands for American Powerboat Association. We are about ready to send out our Heat 4B. They're going to make their way out on the course, and as they do, I'll give you the lineup. In the Squire Shop, driving the number 16, Brent Paul Jr. Little Katie Brown gets to drive the Atlas Van Lines 280. Harper Kelly Moen in the Lynx Healthcare number 9. Cannon Cushing in that bright red. Griggs Ace Hardware number 3. Sophia Vandercourt gets to sport the red, white, and green of the Alberto 59. We're going to give our drivers what's called a flag start. There's 2 different ways to start with our hydroplane racing. We do a flag start, which of course you all know. All the drivers must bunch together. Once our referee deems that it is safe for them to start, we will go ahead and start. Normally with Seattle Outboard Association, we do what's called a clock start. We'll give our drivers a 3-minute gun. That gives them 3 minutes out onto the course to get up on plane, get their boats and motors warmed up. Also gives them time to do their timing. Their timing points are key important. Corey, you were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, you need to have timing marks so you know when to put your, well, in this case, your hand on the throttle and push the throttle all the way. So, timing marks are extremely important. You can't just go out there and expect to win if you're going to just wing it. So you got to get your timing marks on each one of these buoys. And these kids have a clock in their boat when they're racing their regular races, and they have that timing mark, and they come off the exit buoy, and they normally will see where their clock is, and then they know how long it takes to get to start finish. So timing marks start out when you're really young.
A big difference between your driving with the H1 and the outboard driving. If you were to jump the gun, if you were to cross that start finish line before the clock hits 0, in H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Racing, you have a 1-lap penalty. When it comes to outboard hydroplane racing, if you cross that start finish line before the clock hits 0, you are disqualified for that particular heat. No money, no points, no nothing. You are disqualified.
No soup for you.
No soup for you. We are going to bring our drivers back in. We had one boat that was unable to get up on plane. We're going to give that young driver one more chance to get back up on the plane. Look at the water conditions. This is such a small course. Usually we run a little bit bigger courses for these J classes and for our upper classes. Right now we're going to see if we can get little Katie Brown and the Atlas Van Lines up on the plane. You'll notice that she's going to lean out up on front of the boat. That gets the motor and the prop out. That helps them get up onto plane. Another key factor in our hydroplane racing for our junior class, along with all of our
sound like it was compressing, stalling like that early on. Although our camp, we see people stalling.
To read them, Corey Peabody, because as you know, racing doesn't happen here without our corporate sponsors and pitching in to help the community and support the community. Yesterday, this guy's got a big target on his back, but he'll accept it.
He wins. He wins. He wins. You know, this guy is amazing. The stuff that he can do in that boat is just phenomenal. So we're going to watch him today. And like I said just a little bit ago, I think this boat's going to be faster today than it was yesterday because HomeStreet Bank wants a win. And so does Team Miss Madison. So I really think that this boat is going to be something to watch. You might even see a record fall today like you did yesterday. So I'm excited to see it.
You might correct me and I might learn something here, but had you not been up here on the broadcast, I would probably make the comment to folks that whatever their best combination is, they save that combination for racing today in the HomeStreet Bank Cup, and maybe what they ran yesterday wasn't quite their top stuff, supporting what you're thinking, that they may be faster today than yesterday.
I think they're going to be faster. I think they made a change, and I think they are here, and they're going to say, check us out and watch what we can do. I really do. They constantly are getting faster, so it's so impressive what they can do.
So is this one of these 83, 84, 85 mile an hour laps that Jimmy's laying down here, just timing to find out exactly how long it takes to get around the course?
Yes, it is. Like I said yesterday, Jimmy's been really concentrating on his starts. I saw it in Tri-Cities. He was doing some different things that he normally does, and it really paid off. He was lacing his starts. They were so good last weekend, and from anywhere he wanted to go. So, I mean, it's nice that he has that fast boat, and he can kind of pick where he wants to go, but we all got to get faster. We can't let him keep doing that, so that's on us. We got to make ourselves work harder and get faster, and he's just picking where he wants to go, and he's doing his timing marks right now, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does in the final.
Yeah, he in that final heat yesterday broke the clock. He was the first one across the line legal, and he had the jump on the field, and you just cannot give this guy the jump. You're not going to drive around him. The way he's running right now, you're not going to be able to drive around him. So you've got to at least be with him, but you can't give him the jump at the start.
No, if he's there and if he is at the start first or at the entrance of one first, I don't see anybody catching him. You know, our boat's out there, and I want to say it, but Mike's going to drive hard for it. But that powder blue boat is something else.
Well, it is certainly the state of the art in H1 Unlimited racing right now. This is the fastest closed course race boat on the planet. Jimmy drives it beautifully. He wants to win here. However, there are other drivers here with the same idea, and he's going to get pushed at some point today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nobody's going to bend.
Nobody's giving up.
No, sir.
No.
And we saw that in Madison, Indiana, and it was you who decided, I'm not going to let you just walk away with this. I'm going to stay in that right side rear view mirror, and every time you look, I'm going to be right there.
I said, you ain't going anywhere, boy. I wanted that win just as bad as he did. I wanted it more because that was his team's hometown race, and I was like, I'm going to get it from you.
Yep.
But I got the big air trophy, so.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, but it was a heck of a race, though.
And that's really a good point, because we as fans watching that, and I think I made the comment somewhere during that broadcast that this is absolutely as good as it gets in H1 Unlimited racing. But it was fun for you as well.
Oh yeah, it was a blast. It was so much fun. It didn't end well, but you know, those first 4 laps were just back and forth and just so much fun, so much adrenaline, and just the excitement of driving that race, and just it was something to I couldn't believe it when it happened. It was like, man, that was great, even though we were busted.
It was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen that heat, well, it's sitting on YouTube, on the H1 Unlimited YouTube channel. Pull it up. You will see what Corey's talking about. And if that doesn't do something for you, if that doesn't give you, some goosebumps or get you excited about boat racing, then I'm thinking this probably isn't your sport, because that was something special. Jimmy Shane continues to just cruise around Lake Washington this morning.
You know, it's a Sunday cruise. He's down there waving to the people on the log boom right now, and he's just promoting his sponsor along the log boom right there, you know.
Bank at HomeStreet.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
See if he doesn't put his foot in it a little bit here and make a charge to the line. Our first heat of H1 Unlimited hydroplane racing will take place at 11:30 this morning. Jimmy bringing that beautiful hydroplane down across start-finish line. Corey and I were talking about the fact that we had some really good competition yesterday in our showdowns and our match races. We certainly did. One in particular, I know we really, from our angle here, could not tell who won. And that's always fun when you don't know who won. You have to wait for it to come across the radio.
Yeah, the 9 and the 40. That race was absolutely awesome. They were pushing each other. It was great to see, and it was a really good thing for the 9 to have to go up. That 40 boat is fast, you know, and that, like we had talked, lane 1, that you can be 3 miles an hour slower because that guy on the outside has to have 3 miles on you. So they did a really good job, and it was a deck-to-deck race. And man, I would like to see the picture of the finish.
I would too, and I haven't, but I'm sure when the dust settles here, I'll be one of those people that'll be watching that rerun on the YouTube channel, courtesy of H1 Unlimited. Jimmy now picking it up, put a couple hot laps in the books here. We'll pick up a speed if we get one. We're monitoring the H1 radio. Just a beautiful, beautiful sight on just a glorious morning. Mount Baker in the background. As you look to the north, look to the south, you can see Mount Rainier. Boy, this is why we live in the Pacific Northwest, Corey. When you get a day like this, everybody talks about it. It rains all the time. It's this, it's that. But boy, when it's right, it is right.
Yeah, it's gorgeous with the mountains and the trees and the water everywhere. And it's a great place to live.
Mix in a rooster tail or two, and you've got pretty much the best place on the planet. And right now, that is on the front straightaway. Jimmy Shane driving a 1, the HomeStreet Bank.
That last lap he did was a 1:53. So let's see what he did on. Let's see what he gets on this one. So
my goodness,
it's coming across the old whiteboard right now. 1:54.4. That's moving pretty good here on a 2-mile course. So yeah, I think there's more. There's more.
That's the scary part.
I know.
That is the scary part there. Let's take an opportunity now to, while Jimmy goes slowly up the backstretch, giving a little wake-up call to everybody over there on the log boom. Take a look at our schedule for today. We've already had our Junior Hydro Race 4A and 4B. That went off at 9 o'clock. Our H1 Unlimited testing session got underway at 9:20. It right now on our watch is 9:37. We are in the middle of that H1 testing session. Coming up at 10:10, we will have race 5A and 5B for our junior hydros. Again, if you missed the racing this morning and yesterday, you don't want to miss the junior hydros. They put on a terrific show, watching these young kids between the ages of 9 and 16 years of age. Then, Corey, at 10:35, it is race day, and you can't have race day without opening ceremonies. That will come up at 10:35 this morning. They will be followed, and as part of the opening ceremony, we'll have an aerobatic performance mixed in with our opening ceremony, so that will be coming up at 10:35. Then at 11:30, H1 Unlimited Heat 1. We're going to put all 5 boats out on the race course, and we are going to see a good-looking 5-boat start blowing into that lower corner. The fans in Seattle have been waiting for that one for 3 years. Well, it's going to happen at 11:30. Then at 12 noon, our Golden Knights performance. This is an air show, or a part of our air show performance. We'll have some parachuters coming out from mighty high. Mark Christopher will take it over. He'll tell you exactly what they are doing, and that's going to come up at 12 noon. 12:35, we'll have another aerobatic performance. Our air show is going to be all packed into one big section today with another aerobatic performance at 12:35. Then at 1:10, F-35 Lightning II performance. That is something special, and if you haven't ever seen or heard the EA-18G Growler, it will show up at 1:40. Trust me, you will hear it. It is loud. Then at 2:10 today, we go H1 racing again with their Heat 2. Another aerobatic performance at 2:45. We'll have the Boeing Seafair flyover at 2:45. And then coming up at 3:05, it is the Blue Angels. They will be here again. They've been flying so far Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They will be here again at 3:05 today with their full program. Coming up at 4:10, our vintage hydroplane exhibition will take place. Then Corey Peabody, you're going to be sitting right alongside me at 4:30 today because it's that HomeStreet Bank Cup H1 Unlimited final heat. That's where we're going to determine who gets their name on the trophy, and on a list with a lot of race winners who have claimed Lake Washington and been the champion.
That's going to be a great race. I can't wait for it.
It's coming up later this afternoon. We will put a champion on the Ted Jones race course on Lake Washington, and then coming up shortly thereafter, we will have an award ceremony on the big stage here in the pit area. We will also have the award ceremony for Jimmy Shane and the HomeStreet Bank, having won the showdown yesterday afternoon. So a full schedule today. Thank you, Seafair. Meanwhile, behind us out in Genesee Park, we've got all kinds of exhibits. We've got vendors, we've got food, you name it, it is out in the park. When you want to take a break and step away from Show Center here on Lake Washington, go out in the park. You'll find plenty of entertainment out there for you, the kids, everybody. Take them out and get something to eat and say hello to all our vendors. That is the schedule for this, the 7th of August. It is Sunday. It is race day. And for those of us of a certain vintage, it sounds like it did way back in the 60s and 70s with an unlimited hydroplane from the past going up the backstretch. That is the 1962 Notre Dame. We've been just plowing information into Corey Peabody here about the vintage class. He learned yesterday all about quill shafts and Stan Sayers Memorial Park and Bill Brow and Doug Brow, and you were teaching us.
Well, I had a couple.
You did.
I had a couple.
You had a couple.
Got you off guard. But it's great to get some history lessons here and there.
Coming off the top end of the race course is the beautiful 1962. You got it. Now I'm colorblind, Corey, but I've got to think that Home Street right there, that's right in front of the Notre Dame from our way of looking right here, got to look mighty similar to that Notre Dame.
They're close. It's that one's a little. The Notre Dame's a little bit lighter, the way I see it, but I've noticed the last few years my eyes aren't that good. So
I got news for you, Corey. Yeah. It only gets worse.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've been told.
It doesn't get any better. So good to see the Notre Dame out running. They had an opportunity to allow that boat to get out on the race course. They've been fighting some fuel issues.
The carburetor. That's what we heard yesterday.
Yeah. So good to see them out on the water. This is one of the recent projects at the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum. This Notre Dame, the U-7. Herb Mendelson campaigned the Notre Dame back in the 1930s and into the early 1940s. Corey, next time you get a good long look at that APBA Gold Cup, stop looking at your own name on it. Go back there in the 1930s, you'll find Herb Mendelson, and you will find the Notre Dame on there. Except it's one of the interesting little quirks on that APBA Gold Cup. Here we go with your history lesson again. Go back and look at it, because you'll find that when they engraved the medallion, and I'm not sure of the year, 37, 38 in there somewhere, they left the T out of Notre Dame. It just says Notre Dame.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So there's something else to look.
Well, did they get Rudy to drive this?
They could.
Yeah.
See, now that would work too.
Yeah.
That would work.
Could he reach the pedals though? He wasn't.
Well, yeah. Don't know. You might have to slide the seat forward here.
He was pretty short.
You guys have adjustable seats.
Yeah.
You just slide them forward. So yours are probably power.
Yeah. It's got a nice lumbar in it.
So Herb Mendelson, when he was campaigning the Notre Dame back in the 1930s and 40s, he approached the University of Notre Dame and asked permission. Herb Mendelson was actually on the Notre Dame University's Board of Commerce. So in the 1930s, when he was going to go boat racing, he approached the university and asked and received permission to use the university's name and insignia on the Mendelson racing boats. That's in the 30s and 40s. There's always been that question, how did they get the name on the boat? Well, he was on the Board of Commerce. He went and asked for permission. It was granted, and thus the Notre Dame raced in the 30s and 40s. Then Herb got out of boat racing. His daughter, Shirley Mendelson, she decided to take the, and I now have, I don't know if I'm going to be as cool as you though. I now have the bucket list racing glasses.
Yes.
Thank you very, very, we've got, here we go.
Oh, it's like,
okay,
it's
now
like,
I have to
it's
ask
like
one.
Oprah, you get a pair, you get a pair, you get a pair.
Sharon, I have to ask now if I can have one more.
Oh, goodness.
No, I know. I'm never happy
You're
with
that guy.
one. I am that guy.
Jeez.
Can I get one more? Okay, so we're now going to be all donning the bright orange bucket list racing. And what shade of orange is that?
That's Tennessee orange.
Oh, I didn't catch it. Thank you.
Thank you. That's
all right, so we now all have Tennessee orange sunglasses here up on the tower. Notre Dame coming down the front straightaway. Anyway, so Shirley McDonald decided in the early 60s that she wanted to carry on the tradition of her late father, Herb Mendelson. And so in 1962, she came out with a unlimited hydroplane. She too went to the Board of Commerce at Notre Dame University, asked for permission to use the name. Thus, this boat was born in 1962. And the Notre Dame was on the deck of the boat. Interesting story about 1962. There are people here who will remember this, Corey. It's not just me and Steve Compton, who's over there on our big tower. But in 1962, when this boat was in Seattle, we had the big 3-mile race course. The north turn was here. The south turn was way down there, way down in what we call the Seward Park turn, the south end. 3-mile race course. And in one of the heats, the Notre Dame was in the heat running against a boat called the Seattle 2. The Miss Seattle 2. Seattle 2 was on the outside. They went charging down into that first turn. And, of course, Shirley's up here in the pit area, and it's just a wall of water watching all the boats go down toward the south end of the race course. And there was a huge crash. The Seattle 2 skipped in the air. It was a shovel-nose boat. The boat nosed in. There was a huge hydraulic explosion. The driver, Dallas Sarts, was tossed out. He actually came through okay, surprisingly. But Shirley McDonald up here thought it was her Notre Dame that had crashed. She fainted in the pit area. Paramedics had to come to her. She spent the rest of Seafair afternoon in the hospital thinking something had happened to her beloved Notre Dame when indeed it was a different boat. That's some more of your history lesson, young man.
Could you imagine a 3-mile course?
Oh, it used to be 5. Oh, they had a 5-mile course here at one time, and that's when the slow-mo 4 and 5 used to come for the start underneath the bridge. When it was a 3-mile course, the question just came up. Typically, when we originally started and we're running the Gold Cup here with the 3-mile race course, the Gold Cup, as it still is today, is an endurance race. So it was a 90-mile race. The boats ran in 2 preliminary heats and a final, so they were 10-lap heats, 30 miles apiece. Yes. You
have to take a nap after that. That's what
lot.
I was thinking earlier. It's a lot of fuel.
Then we shortened the races as we went on to the years, and the Gold Cup wasn't here in Seattle. Then even on the 3-mile race course, we went down to 5-lap heats. Then we went to the smaller 2.5-mile course, and we went to 6-lap heats. So it's kind of been all over the map. Now we're at 3 and back to 5. It's changed along the way, but a great history of unlimited hydroplane racing here on Lake Washington, and it's good to see this 1962 Notre Dame out there to bring up stories of Herb Mendelson and Shirley Mendelson McDonald, her husband, Dr. Fraser McDonald.
I see a pair of sunglasses coming for you.
I
see her.
I see a lot of Tennessee orange. She's looking up here.
Yep.
She's going, no, I've already covered you guys. I'm not coming back.
Oh.
Apparently, I'm being chastised for not having my sunglasses on. These are prescription, right, Sharon? Yeah, good. I'll be able to see. Okay. So what do you think? Of course, the sticker right here probably helps. It does.
I'm going to leave the sticker on mine. That's what kids do these days. They leave the sticker on.
Like on the hats?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I was going to say, when's that picture coming? Here we go. Hey, it's Seafair Sunday. It's all about having fun, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
That's it.
That's what I'm here for.
Kay Brewer's walking around the pit area. She doesn't even know there's a gift up here for her. When she here she comes. She's on the run.
Oh, she's running.
She wants to see what this is.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a look at our schedule again, because we are in the middle of an H1 testing session. But coming up at 10:10, which should be about 20 minutes from right now, we do have our J Hydros. Heats 5A and 5B will be coming up. I don't see any. Well, I say that, and now I see the slings working over toward the U9. So maybe your boat is going to, your teammate is going to get the Boitano Homes back out on the water one more time.
Yeah, get out there and get some laps in, get some testing time, see if they can improve on their speeds.
And the lake seems to be laying down just a little bit.
A little less wind. It's nice ripple on the water, so it'll be good for them.
Oh, I thought I had my sunglasses.
She doesn't want just a regular picture of you.
Race fans, we're having a photo op here right now. Tana, you need to go say thank you to her, because Tana, for you. This was the extra pair. HomeStreet Bank is proud to sponsor this year's Seafair Weekend Festival. Rated one of America's best small banks by Newsweek, HomeStreet is a full-service bank.
"22 boats showed up in Seattle to challenge for the 58 Gold Cup, and the Super Test from Canada is a foreign entry. As crowded as the pits were, they were nothing in comparison to the crowded parking lots where an estimated 300,000 fans tried to find a parking spot. Top contenders for the 58 Gold Cup were Miss Thriftway 2, driven by Brian Weigel, Miss Bardall, driven by Myra Slovak, Miss Burien, driven by Bill Brow, Miss U.S., chauffeured by Freddie Alder. Miss Thriftway with defending champion Bill Muncie at the wheel. Maverick, piloted by Bill Stead. Miss Seattle with Chuck Hickling driving. And Wild Route Charlie, Bob Schroeder in the cockpit. At the start of the heat, Heat 1A, Jack Regis and the Kai jump out to a commanding lead. The Kai, which had been retired up until 2 weeks before the race, leads wire to wire and easily wins the first heat. Heat 1B started with Gale 6 and the Burien fighting for the lead. Thriftway 2 holds the lead until a badly damaged left sponson puts her out of the race, leaving the Pay and Save to battle with the Gale 6 for first. Pay and Save holds on to first. Gale 6 takes second. Heat 1C sees some tense moments when the Gale 5 and the Miss Spokane collide in the south turn, ripping off the tail fin of the Inland Empire entry. Thriftway wins the heat with ease, and the Coral Reef takes second. Miss Spokane and the Gale 5 battle for third, and the Spokane nips the Gale.
Here they come.
Miss Thriftway hits a Coast Guard boat. Bill O'Mara of Channel 5 describes.
There's the gun. So here's the race for the corner. It is U.S. on the outside, and it is Gale on the inside. And next to her is the Miss Thriftway. Now who will be first through that corner? Muncie was a little slow getting his boat speed, but he had that inside corner where he wanted to be. Now, let's see how they go through that corner for the first time. This is the south corner of the course. We don't know if Bill is in there. The Miss Pay and Save is dead just off the beach area here, about 3/4 of the way down the inland chute. A couple of boats are charging for her. Nobody's paying attention to the Miss Pay and Save. Al is standing up on the tail of his boat. The gun is going off. Coral Reef is coming down here to the 1,000-foot line. The race has been stopped down, and we'll have to check. Here is the screen. Here is the boat. Here is the boat. And where is Bill? A Coast Guard boat coming out of it. And the Coast Guard man climbing out of the crash. Ask him what it is. I don't know what it is. She evidently hit the Coast Guard cutter. There's a man coming out. Thriftway hit the Coast Guard cutter. They were evidently crowded in that turn. We're waiting now to hear a report from down at the scene. Here you see a skin diver going down, going into the Coast Guard cutter. The race has been stopped down. And we understand they haven't found Muncie yet.
Thank you, Fred.
right, we got J. Michael Kelly on the water. He's coming down that front stretch. He's going to record his first lap in the old test session here. Coming into this corner. Last time he was out, he ran a 146.1. That was his fastest lap, so I'm hoping he can improve on that. We'll see what his laps are, and we'll see if they can't make a new adjustment and get this boat going faster. Lynx Healthcare boat driven by J. Michael Kelly. Boitano Homes, Northway Construction. Gonna come down and record a speed here. We'll see what it is. A 149.4. So they've gone up a few miles an hour. That's great for them. That's going to be really good. That's put them right there in competition with everybody else. So that's a great improvement from the last time out. He's down here at turn 2. He's going to hang it on the hook there, and he's going to bring it around. Hopefully he can improve on that 149 on this next lap. He's holding it tight to the buoys too. He is trying to improve. Let's see if he can pull out a 150 here. He's slowing down. He's gonna, looks like he might, look like he wanted to cut the course there, but he didn't. So his new time is coming in, and he was able to pull out a 148.166. So a little bit slower, but they've still got that 149. So that's great for them, and it'll be really good to see that boat out front one of these heats. That concludes our testing session for the morning, so we'll hang out and everybody enjoy the weather.
So next up on our schedule, race fans, is our junior hydros again. If you haven't seen them, you want to catch them.
Maverick, Kai, Miss US, Gale 5, Wild Group Charlie all hit the line together with the Maverick and the Kai fighting for the lead. By the second lap, Jack Regis and the Hoy Kai have a commanding lead, and Bill Stent in the Maverick is content to settle for second. In the final heat, Coral Reef chases the Hawaii Kai, but the Kai proves to be too much. The checkered flag is raised for Jack Regis and the Hawaii Kai as she speeds to a perfect day, collecting 2,000 points and setting new heat and race records along the way. Regis' victory especially impressive because the boat's owner, Edgar Kaiser, hadn't even planned to run the Kai in the Gold Cup, but was persuaded to at the last moment by Seattle fans.
I think that says it all. There is a warning. Did I mention this to you yesterday?
Somebody gave a warning, and I'm
There
supposed to listen?
is a warning on the APBA website. Cassie, I'm looking right at you on this one. There is a warning on the APBA website about participating in this particular class. It says, warning, children may exhibit ear-to-ear smiles.
I love it.
That is on the website, and apparently so.
And you can see that through that closed-face helmet. She is so excited. I walked in here on Saturday morning to her rushing down the pits to give me a big hug, and she's like, did you see my boat? Did you see who I get to represent? I get to represent HomeStreet Banking, and she was so excited for that.
I think that is just fabulous. And Cassie, one last question. We're doing this long distance. We're social distancing, and she has the helmet on. Has Jimmy Shane given you any tips, up, down? He said anything to you about how you drive this thing?
Oh,
little bit. Well, for what it's worth, if he tells you something, take it. I think that'll be a pretty good. What a thrill. What a thrill.
Yeah, these kids are so excited to be bellied up with some of our H1 Unlimited drivers. They were raised around them, and it is so much fun to see. But we're going to send them out onto the course, and we're going to do that. Jimmy Shane, you need to stop and go cheer your teammate on. Jimmy Shane is actually right below us at the tower, and he has now turned around to cheer on little Cassie as she makes her way out onto the course. These are 15 horsepower Mercury Johnson's Evinrude. If you're just joining us today for day 3 here at Seafair, which you and I, Brad, look forward to every year, we are bringing out our junior program. This is called Junior Hydro. You'll see some of these kids going out here. They start at the ripe young age of 9 years old. Hydroplane racing. This is where the future of hydroplane racing starts. You'll see our drivers make their way out onto the course. You'll see little Cassie as she makes her way out. She will actually kind of move forward onto the front of the boat, and that is what helps get them out onto the course. So you'll see Carson Kelly in the Boitano number 9 making his way out on the course. 4th generation driver making his way out on the course. We'll see Carson right now. Later on this afternoon, we'll see his dad racing with the big boys.
Who's driving that 91?
The 91 is driven by Madden Hinshaw. We watched him yesterday. He is another another hydroplane racer that was born and raised in hydroplane racing. He is so excited. They just put the wrap on there. They have added to the Lewis Custom Hydroplanes. They have also just added Goodman Real Estate. So he has 2 sponsors. Lewis Hydros does so much. I believe there's like 4 of the Lewis Hydro crafts that are out here on the course. Brad Luce, one other fun fact. A lot of these drivers that are out here actually helped build the boats they are driving. Seattle Outboard Association has combined with the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum to be able to make a hydroplane building class. If you want to get involved in that or know more about that, even if you don't have a youngster to build it with and you want to come down and get involved with boat racing, make sure you go to Seattle Outboard Association to find out about the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum combination of Seattle Outboard to build one of these 10-foot hydroplanes.
I have a little bit of trivia for you.
I was waiting. I mean,
No.
you can't go without 10 minutes of hearing something from the book of knowledge of Brad Luce.
Yeah, but this has to do with outboard hydros.
Oh,
And,
what do you got?
well, when I was at the ripe age of about 7 or 8 years old,
When you were riding your bike with your boat behind you.
absolutely. And I was participating on the swim team at the View Ridge Swim Club, which is up by Sandpoint Naval Air Station, or the old, see, that puts my date out there right there. Magnuson Park, excuse me, up at Sandpoint. You were mentioning Lewis Hydros.
Yes.
I was swimming back in that View Ridge Swim Club pool with Carl Lewis of Lewis Hydroplanes.
Really? Carl Lewis is here.
He's here. I talked to him. This is an old friend of mine. I mean, from way back in the day, I knew Carl Lewis, and he and I have been having a good time chatting here. So you mentioned his name. I know him.
You know him, and all of our fans, I always encourage you to come into the pits and talk to these drivers, talk to their parents, see how you can get your youngster involved. Get your boat built by the Carl Lewis for Lewis Custom Designs.
All right, so we're running on this flag start, right?
We are running on what's called a flag start. We're trying to hopefully get Carson Kelly up on the plane so that he can join the rest of the fleet as they come across the start-finish line. Normally, with Seattle Outboard Association and APBA Outboard Hydro Racing, we do what's called a clock start. We have a 30-minute gun where they'll go out onto the course, they do their milling session, do one last final test run to go across the start-finish line. Unlike H1 Unlimiteds, if they cross the line before the clock hits 0, in H1 Unlimiteds, they have a one-lap penalty. You'll still get points. But when it comes to outboard hydroplane racing, if you cross that start-finish line before the clock hits 0, you are disqualified for that heat. All right, looks like we're going to go ahead and throw the white flag out onto the course. That tells our drivers to go ahead and make their way down to the start-finish line. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to be able to see Carson Kelly make the start. But we have a good run coming down. And look at the ponytail flying out of that Atlas van lines. That is Miss Katie Brown. She just about barrel rolled coming into turn 1. But we have started our 4-lap heat. This, Brad Luce, is the final. We will split the fleet 2 ways for safety factors. They will combine all the points, and he or she who has the most points out of the 2-heat final will be crowned the victory winner.
Got to watch Katie at the top end. She's going to go inside Carson Kelly. She's giving it a ride. She was catching a lot of air up the backstretch, but keeping her little foot in it, so to speak, and that ponytail is a-flying. Gets a little wet when she gets down to the corner, but that's because she's staying so tight. She's not giving up, going for the win here, Kay.
Well, your leader is actually Matt Hinshaw, driving the Goodman Real Estate Lewis Custom Hydros. He is doing so well out there. And it's fun to watch little Katie. Unfortunately, earlier this morning, she wasn't able to make the last heat because she had a sheared pin on the prop. Brought her back in, made some adjustments, got her back out on the course. White flag is out. That tells our drivers there's 1 lap to go. It's fun to watch these kids out here bouncing back and forth all over the place. You know, and Harper Kelly is your 3rd place driver, cousins of Carson Kelly. That is a fun fact to watch. When it comes to hydroplane racing, you'll see moms and dads racing against their sons and cousins racing against each other. And it always wonders who gets the best prop underneath the Christmas tree every morning on Christmas morning. I know I was 50-50 shot with my brother. Checkered flag will be out. As these guys hop across the start-finish line, your winner, Matt Hinshaw, in the Goodman Real Estate, number 91, Lewis Custom Built, followed by the Atlas Van Lines, driven by Katie Brown, and in the number 9, Harper Kelly Moen.
How about Katie Brown giving a wave to the fans as she goes through the lower end of the race? She's learning.
She's learning.
Interact with those fans.
She has a great time, and you know, I know exactly where she got that from. Her dad, who is one of the fan favorites out there. We love to see Kip out on the water, but Kip is having so much fun being a racer dad. He is working so hard to keep Miss Katie out there. She's done a wonderful, guess Katie's gonna give you another wave. Wave on back to her. Looks like we got 2 of our boats out there. Little Cassie's gonna give a wave and show off that powder blue HomeStreet boat. So if you want to get involved in hydroplane racing, you got a youngster out there, make sure you go to Seattle Outboard Association. Brad, you and I talked about it earlier today. The Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum. one of the best places to go. They offer a great program where you can actually sit side by side with your youngster and build one of these hydroplanes, set them out here. So make sure you contact the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum and Seattle Outboard Association to find out how you can build yourself a 10-foot J-Stock hydro and send your kiddo out here at 35 miles an hour at Seafair.
I think that's just awesome. And what David Williams has done with that program in conjunction with the Seattle Outboard Association is just terrific, because it's more than just building a boat and going racing. It is building the relationship between the parents and the child, and it's a bond that you can share. It's a passion that you can share together. And it'd be one thing to get one of these boats. You know, we talk about the boat being for sale down here. Well, that would be one thing. But if you're out there racing in something that you built,
yes,
I mean, that's got to really be something. As a fisherman,
yes,
I can go out and buy flies, and I can go catch fish on a fly that I buy at the sporting goods store. But if it's a fly that I tied,
yep,
it makes it that much more special to catch a fish on something that I developed. And, oh, by the way, that doesn't happen very often. I actually don't tie my own flies, but I have a lot of my buddies do, and they say that is the best. That's the epitome. And it would be the same thing here with these little junior hydros. Help build it, get it out, and race and win with it. That would be something special. We got another heat coming up.
We do. You were talking about fishing, about how you don't catch very many fish. I was just going to tell you.
Oh, I didn't say that. I just said I don't tie my own flies. Don't give me that line.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I just can't do that. I'm a gearhead and a speed demon, so I am constantly looking for the fastest speed. And with that being said, these young kids are doing 35 miles an hour. Brad Luce, I want to put you in an outboard hydroplane.
Good boy.
I can put you in a boat that goes 110 miles an hour.
That would be 110 miles an hour when somebody's driving it that knows what they're doing.
There is a class in hydroplane, and nice try. You're trying to get out of this. There is a class in outboard hydroplane racing called 1100 Runabout. There's two people in the boat. There's a driver, and there is a person behind them, directly behind them, that is basically supposed to be the quote-unquote mechanic. They also help. I know, right? I have done that, and I actually got the pleasure of doing that with my dad. But the deal was with my dad that if he brought that motor back out and that boat back out, I had to drive.
Wow.
It was the funnest experience I have had, where I actually got to go out into an 1100 runabout. My dad was me. I was the driver. He was the navigator. So it was so much fun to see.
Again, about family, shared experiences.
Yes, exactly. That was my point.
That's the absolute best.
Yep.
So
All
here
right.
come our boats back out for our, I guess this would be our Heat 5B, or this is our final that you split in half.
This is our final Heat 2. So we split the field up for safety factors. We will take the points. Oh, look at the big wave from Cushing. He loves showing off that Ace Griggs hardware. He was so excited to get that on the side of his boat. Ace does so much for, I have to say it, bring back the 3. Sorry, Brad. You know me in the loud turbines.
Absolutely. So if we got Carson, is that him halfway up the backstretch there? Have they got him back out in this heat now?
Yes.
And
so
he's on a plane this time, so he's up and running.
Yes. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it out for the last heat. We did give him the allowance to come out for Heat 2 to try and get some points. So that's going to be a big factor, because we have 6 of our J-Stocks out here on a very small course.
Yeah, so very quickly, as Carson Kelly comes down here, gets to the entrance pin of the corner, that's that white, strong racing boat with the orange right on the rear end of it there. He couldn't get it up on a plane 3 minutes ago.
Right.
What did he do different? What is done different to now he comes out on the race course, boom, he's right up on a plane?
There are 2 different key factors that we can do with our J's or any of our classes. We do clamp the motor under the back of the transom of the boat. We also can lift that up by putting what's called a shim stick underneath. Probably did that, maybe even a prop change. One minor tweak can either keep you on the beach or keep you out on the course. But our leader in that bright red Grace Eggs, he's going to be bringing it across. That's Cannon Cushing being challenged hard by, it looks like Carson Kelly. Carson Kelly just got back from the Junior Nationals in Depew, Illinois. That guy, I don't even know how they put all of the hardware that he won from all those races he did. Carson Kelly's going to try and duck on the inside of Cushing. Cushing gets shoved out to the outside. Carson Kelly just did a wonderful job in turn 2. But here comes Ace Griggs, driven by Cannon Cushing. Cannon Cushing's going to give him a run for his money. You'll see that they lean out to the left It's all about driver body movement. Cannon Cushing jumps on the inside of Carson Kelly. These two keep swapping places, but keep an eye out for the 122. That's Brody Wyatt, another fast contender in our junior program. The top 3 drivers that you see out here battle it out weekend after weekend. But right now, your leader, well, might be 3 wide as they come out of turn number 2, and there's going to be a white flag. 1 lap to go, Brad. What do you think? Do you think Cannon can hold on to the inside and be able to take the first place over? It looks like Carson's trying to take it over, and here comes Brody Wyatt on the inside. 3 wide at the apex of turn number 1.
Yeah, watch Wyatt on the inside. I like his lane position, and now he's running in 3rd place, but he's only a half a boat length out of the lead. Look at the 3 of them. You can throw a blanket over him at the top end.
Cannon Cushing took a huge hop midway down that backstretch and went from 1st to 3rd. But your leader, now we've got to change the positions. The flag is flying. It might be a photo finish. You know, Brad, I'm not sure. We might have to go down and ask, but I think Carson Kelly was able to take the checkered flag over Brody Wyatt, followed by Cannon Cushing. All right, fans, stand on up. Give our kids a big old wave. That was a great race.
That was terrific.
It's so much fun to watch these kids out here. And you know what, Brad? Watch the faces and the high fives you're going to see as they come in to each other, to their parents, to their crew members. They've worked hard to be here. They are so excited, so pumped to be here. Seattle Outboard Association has brought a wonderful addition to the program of Seafair.
Boats are coming back to the dock here. Yeah, they brought the outboards, the junior hydros here. I can't remember, maybe 2018. They brought them here, and they immediately were a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Everybody loved them, and rightfully so. The competition is close. It's the kids, and the kids, because we're going to have live television floating around here today, and sometimes there's TV cameras floating around, and when they're driving their boats, the H1 Unlimited hydroplanes are the backdrop right behind them on the trail. What a moment for these kids.
Yeah.
And as you were talking about before, you've got somebody driving a boat that's got Jimmy Shane's HomeStreet blue colors on it, and pretty soon I've heard stories of crews are coming down to the drivers of the J Hydro. Crews from the real boats are coming down and giving them team shirts and stuff. What a thrill.
You know what else they're doing? They're giving them those team shirts so that they can go over and help crew on the H1s. These kids are given the biggest opportunity that most kids that are out here on the beach are like, I want to do that. So they're tugging on the shoulders of the person next to them. Once again, if you want to possibly be here and running in the J program, tug on the shoulder of your adult next to you and say, how do I get involved with this? And we do it through Seattle Outboard Association. A great way to see these up close and personal is to come on into the pits. Our next race for Seattle Outboard Association will be held right here in SeaTac at Angle Lake, September 10th and 11th. So go to Seattle Outboard Association and check out their Facebook for up-and-coming schedules. We also have videos, we have pictures, anything you need. Contact them to see how you can get involved, whether you're a pit crew, whether you're a driver, whether you're a volunteer at a boat race. We urge you to go to Seattle Outboard Association. If you're here visiting, Brad, the weather is beautiful here today. I should be up hiking on a hill, but I'd rather be at a boat race. You should be visiting apba.org. That stands for American Powerboat Association. apba.org is a great resource for finding out any kind of facts and statistics about hydroplane racing, whether it be in our junior program, H1 Unlimiteds, offshore racing, RCs, inboards, you name it, you can find it. If you want to find your local club to get involved, you're visiting here from Michigan, you're visiting here from Texas, go to apba.org to see